going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. This is Asa Studio. Welcome to Photoshop. It's another retouching tutorial. So I'm going to be showing you how to edit your images so as to get the required result you want. So let's dive right into it. The first thing first, I'm going to observe what's wrong with the image, and I can zoom in and you can see we need to do some frequency separation, of which we need to remove the blemishes and straighten up our skin. We also need to do some white balance and color correction and exposure correction. So many things to fix in the image. So I'm going to be taking it bit by bit so you can understand, and when you see some images you know the right thing to do. So let's get started. First thing first, let's duplicate the layer. I'm going to duplicate it twice because I have what I want to use it for. I'm going to turn this to off and I'm going to start with this one. So I'm going to name this one edit and hit enter. So now let's do this. Let's do some color correction using the solid color adjustment layer. Click OK, turn it off, double click on it, and then select where you were supposed to be white in the image. In this case I'm going to select the eyes and it's going to bring out this color. Click OK, turn it back on, go to the blending mode and change it to divide. Now the color, the exposure is very bright, although this gives us the real color. So we're going to decrease the brightness. So if yours is on saturation, go to brightness and then increase it. Now I'm going to increase it till when my main focus is on the skin. Yes, on the skin, not on the money. So I'm going to increase till where I know it's not clipping. So the skin is not clipping. So somewhere like this should be fine by me, and I'm gonna hit OK on the keyboard. So let's take it up a little bit. Okay, so this is fine. I'm gonna take it up. I'm gonna zoom in and you can see the money is actually very bright. So now the next thing we're gonna do, I'm gonna add the hue and saturation adjustment layer, and I'm gonna clip it to the color fill. So I've clipped it to the color fill. Now we can increase the saturation. Now notice when I increase the saturation all the way up, it becomes red. So I'm just going to increase it a little bit, and when you decrease it, it goes back to the way it is before. So I'm just going to take it up a little bit and find a very good spot for it. So this should be good. So let's see before and then after. So just a little bit change. We can bring this up a bit. Okay, and it's okay, and go back to the saturation and take it all the way up, and we get this feel. Alright, so this together, I'm going to select all and merge it. So we have this to this. Now one problem we have is the brightness of the money, so we need to fix that. So before we do that, let's hit Ctrl J. Now hitting Ctrl J on the keyboard, we're going to go to filter, go to camera raw filter. So in that camera raw filter, we're still going to use the white balance, but let's go to the basic. Let's decrease the highlight and decrease the white. So that should decrease the money. I'm going to decrease it not to the extreme. I'm going to decrease the highlight to a little bit. Alright, so the main focus is the money. The main focus is the money, so we have some kind of brightness. So I just hit OK on the keyboard for the now, and once that is done, you can see the before and after. So now what we're going to be doing is to create a mask for it. So create a mask, invert the mask, Ctrl I, or let's not invert the mask, let's just grab the brush tool and I'm going to make it bigger. So let's make the hardness 100% and let's erase it. I'm going to zoom out and I'm just going to so we can leave it like this and avoid where it's bright. So just like this. I'm going to hit X and cover some places. So something like this. Hit X again and remove it from all this place. So let's merge the two together. Merge layers, and you can turn it off. So this is where we have from here to here. So we're almost there. Next thing is to go to filter Now we're going to go to the camera, the Liquify, sorry. Now under the Liquify, I'm going to use the face feature, and if it doesn't show anything, we can face feature. So the Photoshop could not predict the face. I'm going to use this one instead. And what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be pushing the scarf inside a bit. So from here, let's decrease it and bring it inside just a bit like this. I just want to make it, you know, straight. So don't bother yourself with what you see at the top. Just do the needful. So something like this. And I'll grab the twill tool, the poker tool, and then I'm going to zoom in. And what I want to create, I want to make the eye more defined. So I'm just going to bring this in and bring this in. So notice what is happening to the photo. I'm defining the nose. I'm going to take the poker tool and I'm going to bring the cheek outside here the more. So let's bring this out, and I'm going to take the poker tool and then bring this inside and bring this inside as well. Alright, so this we're through for the now. So I'm gonna do it and then fill in this place back. Okay, so now let's do before and then after. And click OK on the keyboard. So there we go, before and then after. Now go to filter, go to camera raw filter. Under camera raw filter, I'm going to close this tab. I'm going to go to the geometry. Under the geometry tab, it's very important you use the auto, but sometimes I use the manual transformation, but let's use the auto. Now if I click on the auto, it adjusts the image just a bit, so you can see the before and then the after. It just adjusts the image just a bit. Now my main focus is to align, make the face straight. I want to make the face straight, so let's do that by using the vertical. Just get this, the correct point. Now if I take it forward, it's going to do like this. If I take it it's going to look like this. So I want to make it look straight. Let's see the way it stands, and then you tilt the horizontal, so like this, and now you rotate. Let's rotate it a bit, no, to the other side, and there we have it. So we have a straight image. I'm going to do it, and then we have it, a straight image. Okay, so we need to bring the head forward. So I think the vertical needs to come forward like this. Alright, so this is okay for me. So the next thing is to go to the optics, and then we're going to distort it. Let's take it forward and bring our face in like this, so you can see what happened to the image. And then we're done with that, and we're going to click OK, and it's going to replace it with what we have. Now it will be very important for us to duplicate the layer, but I'm just going to leave it like this, and that's why I wanted to duplicate the the layer first of all. So let's go ahead and do some frequency separation. So I'm going to hit Ctrl J twice and then name this color, and hit enter. Name this texture, hit enter. Oh, before that, let's go do some color correction. Let me delete it, and let's go back. Let's go to filter, go to camera raw filter. Okay, so here, camera raw filter. Let's try using the white balance tool and then click on it. And this is just too bright, so I'm gonna fill in some yellow and some color. So I guess this should be fine. I don't want too much yellow. This should be okay. So let's see a shot, so not too much difference, and custom. Okay, so now go down. I'll close the basic tab, and I'll go to the color mixer. So I'm going to decrease the red. Let's go to the hue. I'll make the orange look like yellow, make the yellow look more yellow, and I believe there is no blue, but there is some purple and the rest of. So let's just make the color. Go to the saturation, and we can increase the saturation of the orange. to get more of the skin color and the yellows as well. I guess there is no red. Let's decrease the red. I'll take it up. Okay, let's increase the red a bit. So after that, I think we can increase the saturation of these two. So this should be fine. Let's go to the basic tab, and I want to work on the highlight and the shadows. So let's take the highlight up and then make the blacks, take the blacks up, and the shadows we can bring it up a bit. Yeah, so we have what we work with when doing frequency separation. I'm going to bring this down a little. So let's close the basic tab, and we can go to the calibration, and this is where I like working the most. So we can take this backwards and then take the blue forward, and then find a sweet spot for the greens. So let's turn it off and on. Not to okay, but we could just reset and continue the edits like that. So let me just click OK here, and there we go. So now we can do our frequency separation. Ctrl J, name this color, hit enter, name this texture, hit enter, turn this off, select this, go to filter, blur, Gaussian blur, and I have a video of how to blur your image. Cancel, I guess we're blurring the wrong one. Okay, let's blur it. Go to filter, blur, and go to Gaussian blur. So take it backwards, and let's see the right blur to use. So the more you blur, the more texture you are going to get. So I'm going to blur it because the skin is needs eye retouching. So this should be fine. Click OK, turn this on, select it, go to image, apply image, and then change this blending mode to subtract. Choose on the layer, choose the color, and then scale to 128 and hit OK. So we have the texture and the color. So change the blending mode to linear light. I'm going to group the two together, and then I'm going to work on the photo. For the color layer, you're going to use the mixer tool brush, and for the texture layer, you're going to use the clone stamp tool. So let's start with the mixer tool brush and select the color layer, and then get your brush settings at 9, 75, 90, and get a clean brush. Just take the settings and then do your frequency separation. So I'm done with the frequency separation, and this is what we have before and then after. Let me zoom in a little bit. We have before and after. So now we need to correct some certain things. So I'm going to create a stem visible layer, and then go ahead and grab the hue and saturation. Okay, so take the hand tool, and I want to correct some colors. So let's make this color. Let's select this color on our eyes and increase the saturation. So it will be very hard for us to correct it, but let's get this range, this blue range. So I'm going to increase the slider that's till we get that side selected. So I'll try as much as possible. Okay, so I guess this is the range. Okay, so now that I've selected that range, I'm going to make this 0, and let's see how we can blend the two together. So let's increase the lightness, and let's see what's going on with it. So that's too bright. Okay, we could, let's see by increasing the saturation. Okay, increasing the saturation works, and let's see how we could make it look yellowish. So this should be good because you can see the difference. So I'm going to take it up by 17. 17 should be good, and we can increase the saturation or decrease. So let's increase the saturation and the lightness. So let's see our before and then our after. So I wish I could zoom in and see. Okay, so these are before, and that blue, it's gone. Okay, so it's X on the keyboard, and this, so we have it. All right, so now I'm going to combine these two together, merge layers, and let's go to camera raw filter one more time. So go to filter, camera raw filter. So here we are in camera raw filter. I'm going to go to the basic tab and pick the sampler tool and just select another place. So we have it like this. It gives us the real color. And next thing is to increase the the shadows. I like increasing the shadows because it just bring the photo to life, and increase the black, and we can decrease the white and take up the highlights. So it's just brighten up the image. Now we can go to the texture and increase the texture, so just a bit, and the clarity a bit. So now I'm going to close this one and go to curve, and let's create some contrast. So bring this down and then take this up just to create some contrast. Let's see what we have. So to create the contrast, I guess that's too much, so we're just gonna increase just a bit and bring this down, close the curve. All right, so now we can hit OK. So notice what I'm trying to achieve when I go to the camera raw filter. Now we can apply one more thing, which is a lot. Let's go to color lookup, and I'm going to load the melanin lot. So I loaded the melanin lot, and it looks like this. I'm going to remove it from most of the places I don't need it. So grab the the brush tool, and then on the mask I'm going to erase it from this side, and on the money, so we have it. And I'm going to decrease the opacity just by that, but just to give it the melanin feel. So let's do some color grading. So I'm going to go to the shadows, and I can add some blue feels like that, give it a blue feeling, and decrease the red, introduce some cyan and some magenta. So just look at the way it's going, 339, and go to the midtones. On the midtones I'm going to go to cyan, increase the blues, but let's see what blues does. Let's just leave it like this and give it some green, and go to the highlight. So this is where things going to show if we are dictating perfectly, and that and this. Okay, so let's see before and then after. So we just color graded, but I gave it more contrast before and after. So but we can decrease the opacity and make things look okay. So now let's create a stand visible layer, and then I'm going to group everything together, group, and let's see. I'm going to turn this on, and then we have our before and then our after, our before and then our after. So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button, and don't forget to comment on the video. See you in the next video.